Hey lovely ladies, so I just wanted to make a video for you to talk about my story, and just kind of what brought me to Beachbody and what brought me to this point in my life. So I guess to start, I'm not going to tell you everything because there's a lot. um, and if you want to chat on the phone, we can totally do that, or email back and forth. I'd love to share more in depth, but for today I'll just specifically talk about my health and fitness journey, and yeah, so I'm gonna start. A while back, I was always an athlete, and I like being active. I like doing fun things with other people. So like if you told me to run and there's not a ball in front of me, or like I'm not doing it with other people, I just would drop dead and die. Not really, just I can't stand it. So I always played sports, and I really could, I could eat whatever I wanted. And then I went off to college. You can't really do that when you're not playing sports, eat whatever you want. So I got to college, and the stress of it all just, I think I knew I was a stress eater in high school, but in college I started to eat just because I was bored, or because I was stressed out, or because I was studying and I wanted to kind of keep my mind elsewhere. And as a result, I think I gained like 35, 40 pounds from what I was in high school. And it was just really difficult because I didn't feel good. I didn't like what I looked like. And so as a result of that, I just had a really low self-esteem. Like, I loved people and I loved being around people. I just didn't like who I was, and I didn't like my level of healthiness, if that makes sense. So, junior year in college, I should say my previous semester, my sophomore year, I was very anxious. I struggled with severe anxiety and I couldn't sleep at all. And so as a result, I gained more weight, and I was the heaviest I'd ever been that summer. And, summer and bathing suits, just not good. So that fall, I began to pray. And I begged the Lord to take away this desire to just eat everything, like this compulsive, like, brain trigger that caused me to eat everything in sight. And I tried to be sly about it, around other people. You try not to admit that it's your seventh cookie, but it's actually number 8, and you say, "Oh, I've had 3." And that was me, and I hated that. I hated myself because I felt like I should have been able to change it, just muster up all this self-discipline and just change it myself. And I didn't know how. I just couldn't. And now I see that I had to do other things. It wasn't me. But I'll get into that. And so my junior year in college, I started to pray, and I asked the Lord to take it away, or to help me figure out a healthy way of eating and kind of controlling that impulse. And one day, after months of praying, I got really, really sick, and I had severe stomach pain anytime I ate anything, didn't matter what it was, and this went on for months, and I was angry at God because I didn't know why he was doing that. Why did he choose to make it painful? Why was he choosing to allow this sickness to just plague me for months? And after a lot of tests, at age 21, I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. I had my appendix out the following semester. There was just so much that happened, and I was so confused and I couldn't see anything. I didn't understand what God was doing. I trusted him and I wanted to trust him, but I just didn't get it. I don't know. I struggled to see what his purpose was. And one day, I don't remember if it was something someone said or it just clicked. Like the light went on and I looked up and I said, God, that was all you. Like that prayer that I prayed and the pain that came after that taught me like that food is not the thing I depend on. Food is not, I mean, yes, it's necessary to live, to sustain our bodies, but I cannot be so dependent on it that there's nothing else, you know? Food is the only thing that I wanted, the only thing that I sought after, and God was saying, that's not right, like, it should be me, you know? God was saying you should seek after me because then everything else falls into place. And so I realized that he put that trial in my life to teach me, which really sucked. I won't lie, it was terrible, and I still struggle with some. I have a lot of dietary issues now as a result of how I ate, and we can get more in depth about that. But from the point when I realized that it was God, I started to make changes to live a healthier lifestyle. So it's taken a long time. So it's been 2 years since then, since I was sick, and a little longer than that. And gradually I've had tons of ups and downs. So I've really fluctuated with weight loss and weight gain based on how I was eating and the exercise that I was doing, and it hasn't been great ever since, you know, the light bulb went on, and I still didn't like what I looked like. I didn't know how to go about it, and I just felt so lost, like so lost. Even after the light bulb went on, I was like, okay, God, I get it, but how do I move? Like, how do I take my steps to become a healthier person and be the best version of myself? And so that junior year, McKenna, my coach, my sponsor, she invited me to do a challenge group of hers, and I said, sure, why not? Like, it couldn't hurt to, you know, have an exercise regimen and some eating plan, and I killed that 21 days. I did the 21-day fix, and for the first time, I started to feel strong again because I was weak from being sick. I started to kind of like what I looked like, and I was like, what? Like, this is great. I'm doing this and all this stuff. And so that was a huge up, and I didn't realize God would use that in such a huge way. Because in the next year, I got engaged, I got married, and there's a lot of stress that goes into weddings, and having a new family after you marry. It's a lot. And so, of course, I gained more weight after I had lost it on the program, and I just didn't stick with it. I've never, ever been consistent with working out or eating well, and really this is the first couple months that I haven't fallen off the bandwagon, like, completely. You know, I have a day or a meal where I'm like, nah, that wasn't the best, but overall, since actually I did a Whole30, and which is it's a nutrition program. It's kind of like a 30-day detox, and so I got off my sugar addiction, and that changed a ton for my nutritional, like how nutrition benefited me, and I started to learn and love and research nutrition and how what we put in our bodies affects who we are, and it affects how we function every day. Like, if I eat a brownie, I'm gonna be crabby. If I eat an apple, I'm gonna be happier. And I know that sounds like such a small example, but it's not. Because when I eat a brownie, my stomach doesn't feel good, and I don't feel great towards any other person, especially my husband. And, there are ramifications for what we eat. And so after realizing that I was addicted to sugar and getting off of that addiction, I was ready to jumpstart my health and like fitness, because I still kind of felt a little weak. And so McKenna and I were just talking about life like we do, and God has awesomely and strangely woven our lives together in a lot of ways. And she said, Emily, why don't you consider this? Why don't you consider encouraging others and helping others to be the best version of themselves? Because you want to do it yourself. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that I loved to encourage and to help other people love themselves and treat themselves with the same love that God has for them, because He created you and He loves you and He loves how He made you. And if we abuse that, if we abuse our bodies, that's not what God wants. We're not living to our potential. And so that's my desire. I want each of you to realize that you can do these things and you can reach the goals that you've set for your fitness goals and your nutrition goals and your life goals, because you're taking one step at a time. And I know that was kind of a lot, but I just want to share with you my heart for you girls. I am so proud of you, and I'm just grateful that you've entrusted your journey to me. I pray that I would encourage you, probably to the point of you being annoyed, and to push you to be better, push through those obstacles that are right in front of you, because you can do it. Just like I did. I did it, and I'm not perfect. I'm not at my goal weight or my goal look, but you can do it. Getting past that first barrier is so freeing, because you see what you can do. So anyway, I love you guys, and sorry this is a little bit long, but I hope you enjoy my story. Thanks, guys.